This is a CBNnews.com update. I'm Mark Martin. Wall Street is opening higher today. That's in response to the government's possible plan to take ownership stakes in several U.S. banks. The concept is reassuring investors around the world. Many overseas markets have stabilized as well. The move could thaw the current freeze on lending, but the Fed's decision to cut interest rates should make it easier for Americans to borrow money. Home equity loans, credit cards, and other floating rate loans all fluctuate based on this rate. Even with the downturn in the economy, sales are up at thrift stores across the country. Smart shoppers are looking for bargains and trying to spend less money. Clothing is especially a hot item right now. Designer labels can be found for reduced prices. Used furniture is also selling well. Many say it's a great way to find good deals. General David Petraeus says the U.S. has made substantial progress in Iraq. He says the surge has knocked down the violence by 80%, but he warns that it could be lost in the months ahead. Petraeus said, quote, "Progress does remain fragile and does remain reversible." Meanwhile, an Iraqi archbishop is worried about attacks on Christians in northern Iraq. Iraqis have their religion listed on their government ID, making them easy to identify. The archbishop says Christians only want to live in peace and harmony, and the violence is hurting national unity. In today's Health Beat, many have claimed the healing properties of honey for years. But now scientists say honey is great for healing burns. In a recent study, they found honey could cut healing time by as much as 4 days. Scientists believe honey acts in the same way as hydrogen peroxide. Experts still recommend people use ice and cold water for minor burns at home. Then they say a tiny smear of honey might just speed up the healing process. And finally, this time of year, many people carve pumpkins for decoration. One Wisconsin man has found another use for a giant pumpkin. J.R. Hildebrandt has made a giant pumpkin into a canoe. Yes, he's paddling it down the Wisconsin River to raise funds for children with special needs. The money will be given to a charity that gives kids trips of a lifetime. Hildebrandt hopes to paddle his pumpkin canoe 150 miles in 8 days. He's on his way. Well, coming up later today on CBN's News Watch, with all the talk of a financial crisis, see why there is good news about the economy. Plus, a disturbing story about the cult of death. It's growing rapidly in Mexico. Find out what Christians are doing to combat it. Check your local listings or watch the newscast streamed here online at 4 p.m. Eastern. Just click the word News Watch on this page. And for more news around the world 24/7, stay with CBNnews.com.